The WSBA Morning News with Gary Sutton. News Talk 93.9 and 910 WSBA.
We've had a controversy this week. It started on Saturday at the Grandview Golf Club out on Carlisle Road. And 5 ladies who happen to be black kicked off the course. Basically, police were called, no charges filed. Wanted to go through that. And I've been asking both sides of this in terms of asking people at Grandview if they wanted to be on. And this next lady is one of the 5 ladies who was taken off the golf course. Sandra Thompson is the head of the York chapter of the NAACP. She's also a lawyer, and she was one of the 5 ladies playing on Saturday, and we welcome her to the show this morning. Sandra, sorry about that. Good to have you on the show this morning. That's why I was asking Mark, and then I immediately screw it up right away. So good morning, Sandra. Great to have you on the show.
Good morning, Gary. Actually, people say Sandra. I answer to it. That's great.
Okay. Anyway, so I want to go through, you and I share something. We're both members at Grandview.
Yeah.
You took advantage of the $177 3-year membership, right?
Whatever the membership fee was, that's what we paid.
That's what it was. So, yeah,
That's right.
I remember one of the best. So 2,400 members sign up. And take me through what happened on Saturday. I know from kind of doing a little work in the grapevine here that you had 2 tee times originally set aside. Only 5 ladies showed up for this. And I think it starts where I think were the latest one there, and you got in there and said, is it okay to play 5? So you did what you're supposed to do, didn't ask. Although I got to tell you, being a golfer for 55 years, if I saw a 5-some on the course on a Saturday morning, I'd be going crazy. But anyway, it would have nothing to do with anything except 5-somes tend to slow things down. But that was not the case here, at least according to the numbers I'm looking at. Tell me what happened from that point on.
Well, first, an atrocity occurred, and not just because we happened to be black and happened to be women, but we were the only blacks and the only women on the course.
Let me ask you a question real quickly. I just want to jump in there. Yeah. How do you know that?
Because we saw.
But there's 18 holes. There's 18 holes out there, and I wondered about that, and just how you would know that.
Because we saw there was a delay, and we were all backed up because of their delay.
Okay, so you're saying that
we saw the people in front of us, and we were the next to last group. So whoever may have come on the course another day or hours later, but at that time, we were the only African-American women and a group of white men.
Now, they have what they call a frost delay, was what Sandra's talking about here, and what will happen is they let the course kind of thaw out a little bit before they send people out, and they will send them out in a wave then normally. But your tee time was originally like 10 o'clock, and now got pushed to 11 o'clock. 10:08.
And actually, yes, and I arrived at 10:12. And typically what happens is somebody, if you're going to join a group, they'll drive you out to your group. So I didn't know if my group had already went out and they may have done that. But when I did arrive, because we do play, we do know the rules, and we do know that 5 are not always favored, I did ask, could I play 5? And really, I would not have had a problem at all if they would have said no. Mm-hmm. I was just having a leisurely day, Saturday, which I don't get very often in the things that I do.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
It would not have mattered at all if they said, no, I couldn't play as 5. But actually, he said, no problem. Mm-hmm. And what we did also learn is even Sunday, there were multiple groups of 5s playing out even on Sunday. So that is an average or typical thing for them.
Yeah, it's very atypical
for that weekend.
Yeah, it's very atypical. I'm a member down at Royal Manchester also, and it's just absolutely, you can't do it. I mean, it just, and we played at other clubs and have been able to do it. It all depends. It all depends on the club, but it's the club that governs, and you follow their rules, and so they allowed us to do so. And as you know, and sure,
he said no problem.
Well, in the
I also learned is they had a tournament. Mm-hmm. So not only did they have a frost delay, but they also had a tournament. And they had all these tee times that they didn't manage. And so then they started all the tee times for the earlier parts of the morning were all backed up, and they were all in a line. Mm-hmm. And then the starter was allowing them to go out one after the other. Yeah. So that's how we were able to see who we were on the course with.
Now, one of the things that they ask you to do when you have a 5-some is keep up with the group in front of you. So your first, I guess, confrontation comes here, I believe, at the second hole. And for those that don't know Grandview, by the way, the third hole used to be the tee right next to it. Now you have to walk all the way down there to the creek to tee off. It's now a par 3 because they put a driving range in. So at the second hole, tell me what happened, how this confrontation kind of got started, because I guess Steve Chronister came down to see you and basically told you what?
And yes, and actually, we know the rules, so we were keeping the person in front of us. We all had to wait to hit off of the tee until the people advanced down the fairway. So we had to continue to do that from 1 and 2. So we never really had a chance to advance by the hole 2. But yeah, so right after our drives, and we had good drives. We had one who had probably about an average, so they were closer to maybe the middle of the fairway, and 3 of us were down further by the green. So the 2 that were closer to the middle of the fairway, Karen and Monica, we saw those who were further down on the green, by the green, we saw a man from the distance approaching those 2. Mm-hmm. So we had to wait looking down at them as they talked to this gentleman, couldn't see who he was at the time. And then once they finally were able to advance after he stopped talking to them, then they told us what occurred, and that this man approached them in a huff and very aggressive and kept saying, he's the owner, he's the owner, he's the owner. Mm-hmm. You're going too slow, you're going too slow. Didn't introduce himself at the time. Didn't ask who they were, didn't greet them as new players and new members at the beginning of a season, but just asserting himself as the owner.
Into this, I now put the name of a guy named Damon Carter-Mann, who was playing in the...
actually 2 others.
Yes. Well. Yeah, this guy was playing in the group behind you, and he was in the paper this morning as saying that you were very gracious, you were very professional, that you played the course, you never held them up at any point in time. And I was fascinated by the fact that you played the course at 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is like a half an hour short of what you normally are supposed to play the front 9 in. If you play a golf course in 4.5 hours, people are normally pretty happy about that. I know there are a lot of people out there, but it doesn't sound like you held them up from what I'm seeing this morning on this. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's exactly what we continued to say from the first time that Steve Chronister approached us, that we were not holding anyone up and that we had kept the people in front of us in our sights at appropriate distance. So the only hold up was when Chronister kept delaying us in talking to us and making the accusation. So then that's when we decided to even make up time to skip hole 3, which was a par 3. And then by the time we got to hole 4, which was another par 3, right. We could see the people in front of us playing the green. So then we had to wait before we could hit off of the tee till they cleared the green. So we do know the game of golf.
Right.
And we have people even within our group that if we have some slower players, if we have people taking too long looking for their ball, they will even self-correct within the group. So we are very mindful and respectful to the game of golf and golfers. So, and also if there's any time a person wants to play through, and if we are playing a little slower, then we'll let them go.
Okay.
And also when Chronister came a second time and I spoke with him, and he made the accusation, although we denied it, we said, if there's somebody that wants to play through, we'll let them do it. He's like, oh, no, we won't do that. We won't do that, but we're going to give you your money back. And then when we said we're members, I said we're members, well, we're going to give you your membership. So he didn't want us to play. He didn't want us as members.
So you got that distinct feeling in your contact with him. And that second time that you met him.
That's exactly what he said by wanting to refund the money immediately on hole 2.
Okay. So he actually met you on hole 2 as well. So he talked to the other ladies, and then apparently he came down and talked to you as well?
Well, he was coming to, again, assert himself to the entire group.
Okay.
We were all they were extremely upset when they came in to explain to us what occurred.
Right.
And how they also tried to explain to him that it was actually Grandview's delay that caused the backup. It had nothing to do with us. So how upset they were when we were trying to come off the green. I saw, again, a figure approaching because couldn't see him from the distance or who the man was. Once I tried to meet him halfway so he couldn't accost the entire group to find out what was going on.
Right.
And so as he came through the tree line, when we saw the figure, I went to meet him to ask what is going on. And so that's when he continued to make the accusation we were too slow. And as I explained, I explained to him from the beginning of how his course was delayed, and we didn't have a problem with being delayed or waiting.
Right.
So, and in the picture that was circulated, we took that off of the grounds. We took that during the wait time.
Right.
So we did not actually take any pictures from the tee to the green. And really, we've done that before and never had a course with a problem of us taking pictures. We've taken pictures of when we get almost a hole in one. We take pictures of when in front of beautiful scenery when golf courses have it. Unfortunately, we didn't have that there, but we have taken pictures on golf courses and never had a problem.
Sandra,
but we didn't even do that here.
So you get to number 9, and now this is where I saw the video afterward, and they said you arrived there at 12:45, which is an hour and 45 minutes from when you teed off. Actually, a little less than that, but you're there in an hour 45 minutes. Here's where I get confused. I want to sort this out a little bit. From that point, 12:45. Till 1:28, I think was said in the video. There was a break there. 3 of your ladies decided not to play on. They were upset. And you and another person decided to play on. And I'm wondering, normally, the switch around at a turn is like, 5-10 minutes, maybe 15-20 at the worst. But I'm wondering what happened in that space of time to then get to the point where the video is, where it seems like they're kind of upset with you. I want to know from you what happened in that period of time to somehow get to a point where we're calling police and so forth.
The clarification, I don't believe we finished at 12:45, but about 1.
The WSBA Morning News with Gary Sutton. Weekdays 6 to 9. News Talk 93.9 and 910 WSBA.